Hey, everybody, this is Jennifer with Laundry Tay Magazine, and I'm so delighted to be here with you with the Ms. Gabriella Ribeiro. And Gabriella is the owner of Exploratory Journeys of True Marketing. She's the creator of the 48-Hour Power Jaunt, and she is now also the Mogul Mom. I had the opportunity to meet Gabriella several months ago, and one of the things that stuck out to me, aside from all of the adjectives that people use to describe her, things like baller, badass, really gets it done, boss lady, all the wonderful things that you could say about her. I found her to be someone who really embodies all of those things that it takes to be those adjectives. And so she's someone who really owns her wisdom, her success, and her influence. And so today I'm really excited to have this conversation with her. I know you'll find her as delightful as I do. So welcome, Gabriella. Thanks so much for being here.
I don't know what to say after an introduction like that. Thank you so much.
Oh,
It's fabulous. Thank you. It's so great to talk to you as always.
excellent. Well, can you just fill us in, give us a little detail about your background and history up till now, to this point of taking on this role as the mogul mom?
Well, sure. I've always wanted to own my own business. I was always very much entrepreneurial minded. I grew up with a dad, and that's what he did. And so basically, I always had these dreams of doing different jobs, but I always loved travel. Travel was the number one. Travel was the man in my life. Travel was what made everything work. It enhanced me, it enriched me, and it was something we did as a family and something I grew up to do on my own, college and all of that. And when I decided that I wanted to be a journalist, I looked for a job for about 2 months and I took a job in the meantime that had to do with travel. And I feel like it called me. I knew there was some way that I was going to be doing this in my life. I didn't know how. And I did that for a couple of years on a corporate side. And then I was fortunate enough to start my own business in 2003 and haven't looked back since. So basically, I've been able to kind of fuse my passions with my life and my business and now my family. I have a daughter who's 9 and she travels with me too. And so all of that's been really fulfilling. But I had an opportunity a couple of weeks ago actually to take over on a community and a website called the Mogul Mom, which really is a resource for women who are either starting their own business or they have dreams and aspirations to do that. And so I get to kind of be at the helm and help them because I've done it, now being a single mom and all of that stuff. I know the pressures, I get them, I have it every day. So it's kind of nice to be in a position to sort of inspire and help people achieve their dreams. So that's where I am at the moment.
Beautiful. How has entrepreneurship served as a vehicle for your own personal evolution, for your spiritual evolution?
But for me, I'm all about I know myself very well and I know how I work and I know how I don't. I know my strengths, my weaknesses. I'm a self-starter. I can work anywhere. And so I know that working from home works for me and it also works for like Stefan. Also knowing, how you can handle certain situations helps you be a better business person in your lane. We talked about this before, the difference between being empathetic or, get cold and not involved in that kind of thing and trying to find a balance. But really, I think for me, I know what's best for me. I'm not a teacher. I know what I know and I like to do things on my own. I'm not good with people looking over my shoulder. So I'm very good in a remote position where I can perform at my, on my timeline. And I'm also a very quick worker. I do everything very fast. So for me, it has really helped me blossom into somebody who can take on a ton of things and really feel okay with it. It's a place where I thrive as opposed to where, where you get stressed over the fact that there's 1,000 things to do. I don't feel normal if I don't have that. So I've found jobs that have allowed me to do that.
That explains a lot. Which is a wonderful thing about you. And it's something I think that so many people struggle with is I have these opportunities. I don't know how to decipher them. And then there's Gabriella who just does all of them and handles them really, really well. So how does that it's kind of become your signature? Is that something that you are carrying into the mogul mom as how to help others do what they are trying to do and bring to fruition?
Yeah, for me, I always have a saying, and it's I don't have to be the best. I just have to be the best in me, right? So my version of the way that I do things doesn't necessarily mean that that works for somebody else. I mean, what I feel like my role is that I know that everybody can do it. If you want to start a business and you have the guts and the chops and the desire, you can do it. It doesn't have to be so overthought. It actually can do it. But what I try to do is, I'm not a miracle worker. I'm just sort of listening and taking it in, processing, but trying to find people's strengths and understanding who they are and what will work best for them. If they're not a multitasker, then great. Like, let's drill that down and let's find that out about you so that you don't try to take on 5,000 things at once, because then you'll crash.
Yeah.
If you are better at just taking one thing, then you need to outsource and you need to have everybody else handle a bunch of other things so you can focus on what you're good at. So it's sort of finding people's strengths, and never suggest that people do things that I do. I mean, if you looked at my computer screen, you'd go nuts. Like, there's 5,000 things popping up all the time from work or scrap. For another person, it might be a total nightmare and very, very discouraging. So just trying to find out how they work best and giving them processes to help them along based on their personality and their work.
What a great resource. For you personally, what is the difference between starting a business and buying an existing business? How has that been different, a different experience for you as an entrepreneur?
It's been so different. It's been so enlightening. I'm just so used to having to build everything myself, And so, like, my first business that I started in '03, I mean, people laugh because I throw in my database numbers of travel agents and things. How did you achieve that? I'm like, well, I've kind of been doing it since 2003. It doesn't just happen. So there's been a lot of hard work, like, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into building, which is so refreshing. And then I never bought anything before. And then all of a sudden I bought this, a couple of weeks ago. And what's been amazing to me is the opportunity. The tribe is already there. I bought a community. And what was nice is they weren't tied to one person. They were tied to the name, but not to a particular person that was leading it. So I think therein lied my opportunity, because if I had to take over from somebody's personality, it would be very difficult. But what I'm trying to do is just infuse my personality into it. And it's lovely when something is built and it's relatively turnkey, because all you have to worry about is growing it. And if you insert your personality into it and show people who you are, it will grow the right way, because the interest is already there for the content. So yeah, it's been a learning experience, but I like it. I like it a lot. It's much easier in some ways.
How fun to keep changing it up as we grow and continue to evolve as people, as business people, to take on a new challenge like that. Um, and how would you describe, what is influence to you? How do you feel about wielding that inner wisdom that you have and using it to affect the lives of others, to create change, to create evolution within themselves? What does that influence mean to you?
Influence for me is just leading by example and just being yourself. I hate to use the word authentic because I feel like that should just be a thing. But I think we have to identify that, because we're in a space now where so many people are inauthentic, and claim to be very authentic.
Yeah.
So I think, I describe myself, and this is absolutely true. I can run 4 businesses at a time. I can rock it with my daughter, but I flush my keys down the toilet like once a week, and that is true. Right. It's so there's things that happen in my life. Like, I am not perfect. I'm divorced. I have a failed marriage. I have, things I deal with. You know what I mean? I may look good on paper financially, but I still struggle with, like, sometimes there's tight months. Um, all of that stuff happens to me. And I always want to let people know, like, yeah, it happens, and there are times where sometimes, I can't get home for my kids' play, or I'm stuck in a meeting, or and it's just like heartbreaking. All of that stuff happens. So I think it's important that people know me, you know what I mean? I don't want them knocking on my door, but that my virtual door is always open, 24/7. People can text me, people can call me, email me, because I am here for support, because I have been where they've been. And I'm going where some of them have already gone. So, I mean, it's just important. If I work for you, great. If you don't like me and like my style, that's totally fine. There's a lot of other groups out there. So no offense taken. But I just like to let people know, shit happens, if I can be so blunt, and it happens to me a lot, but good things happen too. So I like to celebrate the good. And I also like to share when I'm having a moment. I put a, blog post out a month ago, and I just put it out there again today for Mobile Mom. I ordered my coffee in a garbage can. You probably saw it on Facebook. I was not present. I was listening to the radio. I was on, stopped, but I was on my phone. I had a million things and I pulled up to the can and I ordered. And I didn't know there was nobody there. I hadn't pulled up, enough to go to the screen. So, like, It's funny. I laughed at it because I laugh at myself all the time, but it actually was really sad that I was so lost in the moment that I didn't even understand what I was doing. So I think it's important to share those kind of stories too. And so that people realize, hey, right, you can be rocking it, but you could still have a bad day. I still have bad days. I still get my heart broke. I still have, all at 42, it's like dating again and getting your heart broken. That's happening. So I just like to let people know that stuff happens and it's okay. You don't have to
Yeah.
have this perfect picture.
Yeah. There's a beautiful tranquility and understanding that, we never really get it done and we never completely get it right. And as long as we're continuing and moving forward, that we're advancing and we're evolving. And so, given all of those fun things like ordering your coffee in a garbage can, what are some things that you've done amidst all of the chaos that happens in order to create this life and business career and culture that you have? What are some of the things that you do to stay motivated, to defeat your fears that come up as you're, climbing and taking new things on and keeping you going for it all the time?
I think my need for some new, and that's just in me. I love to do what I do and I never really abandon what I have going on, but I'm always interested in something else. You know what I mean? So even I think it's the fact that you never can let yourself get comfortable. Like I could be in a position like I am right now, knock on wood, like the clients are good. We have nice, there's good income coming in. I have a great team. I could just be like, oh, you know what? It's not like that. But any client could drop out at any time. And that could be fine. And it just happened. I wake up one day and I'm like, oh my God, I lost my biggest client just because they went bankrupt. You always have to be kind of in the hot seat and making connection. Because you never know, putting yourself out there. And I think also it's okay to take too much on if you can handle it. Like I know that I can. Sometimes it can be stressful, but at the end of the day, I'd rather have an abundance than a lack, and be scrambling. So that's kind of where that's I guess how I operate the best, so that I can feel good about what I'm doing and also not have that stress of, oh my gosh, if I do lose somebody, I have nobody else to call. I always kind of keep prospects bubbling and, keeping in touch with people. And fortunately, we get a lot of referrals. So I think helping people out before you need anything or not expecting anything back is always a big thing because when you need that help, those are going to be the people that are step up.
Mhm. Great advice for everyone. So, what's in store for the Mogul Mom community? What do you have that you're sharing?
Lots, actually.
Good, share.
Sure. A lot. You know, what happens, I think, when Facebook communities and things like that are too big, nobody tends to get to know one another. People are just kind of posting what they do and very rarely commenting. So we've sort of segmented out and curated a smaller group of people who are interacting. And then what I have done is launch a very private networking group, which is secret, group on Facebook and that is member based. So that's going to be a space for people who have already, they have a key in the ignition. The business is going, it's running, and they need to up level themselves personally and professionally. So there's that. And what I really have visions of doing is connecting the members, not just locally, but globally. I mean, I myself travel a lot all the time. What I want to do, and that's phase 2 starting in the spring, is we're going to launch events. And they're going to be very basic in the beginning, coffee meetups or breakfasts or something in different cities to bring people together, whether they're members or not. Hopefully they'll become members after that. And just foster connection because it's like when you're sitting behind a computer screen, and you work all day alone, it's so nice to know I have a plan tomorrow morning or I have a coffee or, I'm going to meet some great ladies with Sparkle. So that's kind of that's the phase 2. And we're working on that now. And, yeah, I think the first one will be in the New York area. Second one, probably Toronto. And we'll go from there. Yeah, I want to have them kind of running on a regular basis.
Beautiful. It sounds like a lot in store for the Mogul Mom community. How can people reach out and get involved?
It's just simply themogulmom.com. As far as that, there's a little pop up if you give us your email address to get a little gift. Join the Facebook pages. They're called the Mogul Mom. The other one is called the Power Mob. Knock, join, I'll accept you, I'll approve you. And, the best thing to do is just start a conversation, interact, because these are ladies that want to hear from you. They want to know more, read the content, and also just reach out to me. If you need tips, if you want to run something by me, I mean, I'm certainly no guru, but I'm happy to give you my time. If you have a business idea, I'll give you my perspective. It may not be the $1 million idea, but, I'm always kind of there to help. So email me, or text me or WhatsApp me or whatever. And I'll talk to you for sure.
That is super. Gabby, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your insights, for sharing your influence. I know you have so many gifts to share with this community. I'm delighted to be part of it. And I'm inviting everybody else to get on and click at themoguilmom.com and check out what's going on in this community. There's some really amazing things. And under the guidance and wisdom of this lovely lady, there's no doubt some amazing things in store. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll have some fun things to post shortly, and we'll talk again soon, hopefully.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.